time. So thank you for joining us again. So good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. It is Mayegun Live. So I believe that majority of us who probably just clocked in are those who searched to be sure that Mayegun is actually live, not because you got notification, right? It's getting worse, I think. But we'll see how bad it's going to be or how worse it can go. But yeah, after reading the caption of the broadcasts, this one, right? Read the description as well. Then like it, share it. Invite your friends and your not so friendly friends and tell them that Mayegun is live. And thank you very much if you have done that already. So we are going to continue from where we stopped this noon, but with some extras, right? So the starter will be the new statement from one of the Northern Elders Forum members. His name is Usman, Bugaje. So Usman Bugaje happened to be one of the founding sort of like leaders of PDP. And he was very prominent during the reign of PDP. And since then, he's become just one of the leaders of thought in northern Nigeria, Usman Bugaje. He was on a program, right? Daily Trust, I think, Trust program, where they were discussing the state of Nigeria, like everyone else does, right? So Bugaje decided to give his own clinical, or should I say scientific analysis of Tinubu's regime. And he spoke a lot. But the part where he narrowed Tinubu's actions since he became your president to that of concentrating his political appointment to that of Yorubas, limiting it, right? Key positions and other stuff. Then projects that Tinubu had announced, or his ministers have announced as federal government projects in Nigeria. Bugaje also pointed to another one and said, well, it seemed right that Tinubu is more or less, or should I say, he's behaving like the president of Ododuwa Republic. That is now featuring in their political conversation, right? So I don't know how long it is going to be for them to possibly like make that their reference and references. So Tinubu and his gang and his Lagos urban bandits, as El Rufai called them, they have rattled their counterparts in northern Nigeria so much that they feel betrayed. And since Tinubu is already failing the entire country anyway, so it will be a good chance, right, to jump into the fray. By kind of like I saw, or should I say, the interviewer, right, the presenter, managed to sneak in a kind of like a self-searching or soul-searching a question to Bugaje. You had the Bukwari there before. The majority believes that whatever Tinubu is doing right now, Bukwari laid the foundation for it in a great way, and his response also. So that's what we're going to start from this evening. And thank you very much if you have actually shared this, okay? Thank you. Now, Bugaje, Usman Bugaje, talking about Tinubu's failing regime, you call it failing. I wanted to say failed, but it's still ongoing, isn't it? And the first part.
Just to double down on the conversation around what is fair across regions and Nigerians' perception of inclusion. Do you think that this could, in a way, put national cohesion at risk? I mean, some would say the Buhari administration has done, great damage to national cohesion. Are you implying that the Tinubu administration is going down the same path? And what is the risk there?
It's doing far more damage. But let's not narrow the issues to only issue of national cohesion. You see, when you come to government, you swear by the Constitution, right? What does the Constitution say? The purpose of government, the primary purpose of government is security and welfare of citizens. Your focus is how do you provide security? How do you provide welfare? How do you make sure that there is law and order and there is the kind of infrastructure that can allow citizens to acquire the skills and to be able to organize the economy in such a way that there will be production. It's by production that countries become wealthy, not by revenue, right? Now this is the focus. I don't see that focus here. I see focus basically in distributing opportunities to, hang us on, or people that you have reasons to want to please. I see a personal agenda of trying to build something personal. I cannot see any connection with the real problems of the people. People are crying, and these things are not being addressed, and they are not being engaged, because every complaint is seen as an attack, and then they try to justify. Every complaint is seen as an attack, and this kind of attitude is not healthy for any government, not just this government, any government.
And is Dr. Bugaje factoring in everything that the government is doing to alleviate some of those concerns? Because the government will say, listen, we're targeting 15 million plus people with our conditional cash transfer. We just added 2.5 million or thereabout to the conditional cash transfer. We've given workers wage awards. we're throwing a lot of money at the problem. We're conducting or carrying out these reforms. I mean, are you considering all of that in your assessment of what is working versus what is not working?
But what you are saying is not delivering. Have you forgotten? Not too long ago, the government put 100 billion for the students' loan scheme. What did the FCC come up with? 75 billion have been stolen. It's on the news. So a lot of this money that is being advertised, doesn't really get to where it should be. And this speaks to the quality of the people that this government has put in place. Look at the quality of the people. Look at some of the people that have not really gone to school. They have made a mess of their own state. And they came out, you are giving them some of the most important portfolio. What kind of criteria has this government in giving appointments? So a lot of these things that doesn't really get there.
Just to
Usman Bugaje. That is not the first time he's actually been speaking on the Tinubu's regime, and he's always been that passionate about it. Yeah. So to Usman Bugaje, his point kind of like will be valid because he's not saying anything that you probably didn't know for now, right? Now, if you probably take take the speaker of it, like take the messenger and take a look at the message, would you say he lied? Of course not, right? But is he speaking from the position of a patriot? That may not likely be or get a straight answer. Do you know why? Because majority of them who have actually come out openly, especially from northern Nigeria, who have come out openly to chastise Tinubu, they were mostly people who were in bed with him. And majority of us suspected back then that the only thing Tinubu was, apart from money, the only thing he was, the other thing he was given to some of these people were promises of God knows what. Because the twist and the turn at the last minute when they chose their Muslim ticket and everything that went on in northern Nigeria at the time, it was like he promised them something. Now, a lot of us could probably keep guessing, right? But for some of them, or to some of them, they have their friends who probably spoke to them during that charade you called election then. And yeah, they secretly supported him and APC, excuse me, APC, Egbekebe, for a reward, whether an appointment or a contract or it's for something that has nothing to do with the real people. The real people that suffered for 8 years of a Boko Haram's murderous regime. And of course, most of these guys, I'm not talking about Bugaje now, most of these guys who are now trying to save you from Tinubu, were very comfortable with Boko Haram. And in that space, probably whatever they were gaining under Boko Haram at the time, whether secretly or openly, they expected same to continue with Tinubu if they backed him. And that backfired. And that's why some of you will be like, everybody they said this contraption under Boko Haram, especially the last 1 year of Boko Haram, the kind of chaos he threw the rest of it, that you are using your Naira to buy Naira, right? And of course, you also had the fuel scarcity and everything that eventually ended Boko Haram's regime, right? You would be surprised that anybody from northern Nigeria, anyone at all, will be so passionate talking about Tinubu a year after Boko Haram. And you'll be like, oh my God, they are now patriotic, like they are now patriots. Oh, they must love their people so much. But they were in slumber for 8 years. But in case if some of you still suffer from Stockholm syndrome, right? The same playbook that Tinubu is using right now was what Boko Haram used as well. When you said anything about Boko Haram, most of these northerners, including some of these their fake leaders, they considered every criticism of Boko Haram as an attack on northern Nigeria. Remember? I mean, I lived through all of that. I documented everything on Mayegun's Diary Political here. We were called enemies of Nigeria, just for calling out this Boko Haram every day, all the atrocities, criminality. They were calling us enemy of Nigeria for saying that we are the enemies of Nigeria. But guess what? We were right. We were right to be screaming every day then, right? The entire country is up in smoke. Economically, it is dust. Boko Haram succeeded in destroying Nigeria economy that he kind of like the one he inherited in 2015, $670 billion economy. Boko Haram destroyed it. And by the time it was done, Nigeria economy shrank to 320 something billion. Of course, yeah, Tinubu continued from where he stopped. Today, Nigeria's economy, the total economy of Nigeria, is valued at 204 billion. It was actually like below 180 billion a few months back. This is their legacy. This is what they have done, which means they have destroyed like about 2 generations. That's what they have done. They wiped off the wealth that could have helped at least 2 generation Nigerians. They are not going to be rich, but they won't be born into this multi-dimensional poverty, which they have kind of like now institutionalized. So you see that over $450 billion that got wiped off your economy is exact reason why you have over 150 million people living in multi-dimensional poverty. So Tinubu and his gang, what did they do to cover up? They started doctoring data to get foreign loan, doctoring data to deceive Nigerians that even if they are not feeling what you are doing, they will feel it later. We're getting back to those who are now the champion of the people. So Usman Bugaje said more. And here is the rest of that.
Look at the appointment of this government in central bank, in security, in everything. What crazy. Even those from the southwest of the country are complaining. What is happening to him? Has he forgotten that he's the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Not of Ododuwa Republic? Okay, what does he get?
Well, officially, there is no Ododuwa Republic, right?
No. There is no, well, I mean, people talk about it in euphemism, for the kind of, thing. But I mean, can't people around him tell him that is wrong? When Buhari started something like that, we came to the television, we told him, we spoke to him, we sent emissaries to him. But this is far worse than we have seen throughout the history of this country. Now, once you do this kind of thing, other people don't trust you. And then they will say, okay, what kind of person he is, right? This is one. When you took this trillions, when health sector is suffering, education is suffering, you are building a coastal road, in a company without due process, and people complain, and you did nothing. I can go on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so many things that this government has done to lose trust and the confidence the citizens, can have on, in their government. So let me just make this point. You see, what is important in citizen-government relationship is trust. Once you lose it, there is nothing else you can achieve. Yes, you have the power to kill, to arrest, to harass, to do anything, but you are only going to be there for a period of time. Even if you want to kill, you can only kill a certain number of people for some time. And the more you do, the more the anger that is collected, and it will burst out. It has happened in Peru, it has happened in Argentina, it has happened in Iran, it has happened in so many other countries. Can't you see the history of the world?
No.
If you go back, in fact, from the American Revolution, 1776, the French Revolution, 1789, the other revolutions that have taken place, you should have lessons to know. What this government needs to do is to stop, to remove the sycophants around that are telling them that this government is doing well. This government is not doing well.
How many of you still remember at that time that every time you are like, Bukwari has appointed the director and member of Nigeria Communication Commission, and you just see it. Everybody just go there, you know it. Once you go there, you see Fulani, Hausa Fulani, Hausa Fulani, and then maybe Kanuri, maybe somebody in the middle belt and that. So it was so much then that everybody just automatically agreed that this is the Fulanization of Nigeria. Have you forgotten? That happened. Now you are witnessing Yorubanization of Nigeria. You know something? Something I have actually been so playing with in my head. And that is, Bukwari has already laid the precedent. It is only maybe when Nigeria breaks up, that is when this institutionalized impunity, nepotism, will die. Or if an Igbo man becomes your president. They've been the only one who seemed to want to do things that at least pointed to, you can say, oh, they are the ones who act like they believe in Nigeria. I'm talking about the ones who are the one Nigeria needs to. Because an average Igbo man, for example, after your genocidal war as it happened then. You see, the rest of Nigeria, I believe, have been made to believe that, the Igbos, right, you have to be careful about them or something. However, there is no part of Nigeria today that you won't see an Igbo man or an Igbo community